Hey guys, my name is David and welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be doing something a bit different. This isn't going to be a bog standard review or discussion, well, more of a discussion on this book. But this video is going to be revolving around a book that I was intimidated to read. It wasn't the most intimidating book that I have in my collection, but this is one that I looked at, I don't think as one book, but as a series. And I was like really intimidated to read. I was thinking, okay, that's going to be a massive commitment. It's a massive book. Not the biggest I've read, but it was up there. But I just didn't read it. I just kept on putting the book off and, yeah, didn't really read it. And that book being book one in the Song of Ice and Fire series by George R.R. Martin. And this is A Game of Thrones. So this video is just going to be my experience reading this and my overall thoughts on the book as a whole. I have done a series of vlogs for this. Every single 100 pages I did a vlog where I talked about my thoughts about what happened and talked about what happened in the story, all in spoiler-free format. So if you want to check it out, it's in my playlist under vlogs, so if you want to, it's there. So I just want to dedicate this video to a channel called Oscar. Now, I cannot pronounce his surname right. Well, I could try, but I probably would butcher it, so I'll have it up on the screen somewhere. Now, the reason why I'm dedicating this video to Oscar is that he did a video, or posted a video, about George R.R. Martin, whether he was lazy or not. And on the back of that one video, I decided, you know what? I'm just going to read the series. I'm going to start off with book one, and I'm going to read the series. So he's the one person that kind of gave me a kick up the arse and give me the encouragement that I needed and the firm push to pick up this book and read it. So I'll have his channel linked down below, and he's just a really, really great person, and his channel's awesome. He's kind of not a traditional booktuber, but he's something different, if that made sense. He discusses books and authors rather than reviewing them individually. So as I said, I was reviewing this in 100-page intervals in vlog format. And there were more for me, really. There were more for me to document my journey through this book and to make me read it. It's kind of like a stepping stone. You know, every 100 pages you do a vlog and all that stuff. And there were more for me and less for the views. And I was thinking, should I continue doing it for all the books? And I think I will. I have all the Song of Ice and Fire books that are currently released. I'm currently reading 4 books at the moment. So when I have finish some of them, I will go on to Clash of Kings, and I will be doing my vlog for that. So my experience with reading Game of Thrones was really enjoyable. It being a fantasy book, yes, there are characters and sections I didn't really like more than others. I liked characters better than others and certain plot points better than others. For example, I didn't really get to enjoy Lady Stark's sections. They weren't really that interesting. But I would have liked it if she was more involved, if that makes sense. I probably am not making sense, but yeah. And the characters I liked the most were Tyrion. I liked his character. Jon Snow. I liked the Stark children. And I liked Eddard Stark, and I liked Dany with the Fraki tribe. And it took me a while to read this and get through it. There was a point where I had to read it on my days off, which is about 2 days a week. But then I just thought, do you know what? I'm just going to read this when I'm working, or when I've got a work day, when I'm traveling to and from work. And that enabled me to read it a lot quicker. And when I get onto Clash of Kings, that's the route that I'll probably be going in. When it comes to if I would recommend this to a newbie of fantasy, probably not. There are loads of other entry points into fantasy or grimdark, because this is a grimdark book which is fantasy based, but it's more dark and gritty and more bleak. It's not about all wizards and elves and going on a merry quest and being home for dinner and everyone living happily ever after. This is what you're going to get with this. But I suppose if you're interested in getting into grimdark, I would definitely recommend this to people that are trying to get into that subgenre of fantasy. But if you're trying to get into more of the epic side of fantasy, you're better off starting with something like Lord of the Rings or something like that. When I was reading this, I remembered parts of the show, so I was remembering certain aspects of the show, because I got this when the show, or the first season of the show was released, and intending to read it at that point, but that didn't work out. But when I was reading this, I was thinking about elements and events that happened in the show, and locations, and what characters looked like, and how they reacted, and how they were portrayed on the big screen, or on the TV rather. So I can't really give you much of a comparison between the series and the book. It does follow the show really well, but I think that there's going to be a lot more info in this than there is in the actual series. So I'm really pleased that I read this. It was a lot of fun. I had quite a journey, and it's got me into George R.R. Martin. I've been watching videos and looking into what else he's written, and he's written a lot more than Song of Ice and Fire. He really has. And I'm not just saying about writing for the series, like the Song of Ice and Fire series or the House of the Dragon series. I mean actual novels that this guy has written. But they all seem to be flying underneath the radar, and Song of Ice and Fire is all people talk about when it comes to George. I currently have one book that's not from A Song of Ice and Fire in my room, and I am planning to get more of his work that's outside of this series, just so I can read it and experience stuff that's not in this universe, and to give you guys my thoughts and opinions on it. Because I think it's important to talk about some other stuff by an author, because you don't really want to have them remembered for one specific thing. I mean, that thing might be more enjoyed in the community of the fan base, but the dude's written more than Ice and Fire. So I will be getting rid of this copy, as I will probably be putting it on my Kindle at some point. So I will pass this on and someone else will enjoy it. But with that said, I have been reading the graphic novel of Game of Thrones. This is in 4 volumes, so this is volume 1. I have read this, the story, but I'm just reading the extra stuff at the back. And I've also found a copy of Game of Thrones and also Clash of Kings in this illustrated edition. This is a hardback edition, and it's got beautiful coloured illustrations in it and black and white illustrations. It is amazing. I will be hanging on obviously to this one. I was thinking about whether I should do this as a giveaway and give this book as a giveaway, but I'm not going to do that, guys. This thing is awesome, and who knows, maybe I will even read the story in this volume as well. So I hope you found this video somewhat interesting. I didn't really have a plan about what I wanted to actually talk about. It was just a video to express my general thoughts on Game of Thrones, the first book in the Song of Ice and Fire series. So hopefully you've found some enjoyment out of this. And yeah, if you've read the book, please let me know what your thoughts were down below in the comments. But let me know what you thought about this and the whole series if you've read it. And yeah, as I said, I'm looking forward to reading Clash of Kings. I am currently reading 4 books, as I said, so when I have knocked some of them out, I will be going on to Clash of Kings. So yeah, if you've watched my vlogs as well, I just want to say thank you. If you've been watching them, it's nothing I did for any views. It's something mostly for me, it's just to document my journey through this book that did intimidate me. Not anymore. Not even book two, which is massive, even bigger than this one. And it's just made me think about you shouldn't really be intimidated by a book, despite its size or its author. You shouldn't really be intimidated by it. You should like just pick it up and read the thing, you know? You shouldn't really have it on your shelf and be putting off reading it. You should just pick up the thing, read it, and love it or hate it. At least you've read it. So guys, I better cut it off here, otherwise I'll be just rambling on about nonsense. So yeah, so thank you for watching guys, and I will see you in my next video.